Hello, my name is Shirzad Sharif, and I wanted to make a video about how to pick and choose a good tonbak instrument. Um, there are numerous types of tonbaks with various skins, and choosing the right tonbak could be quite difficult, especially if you're not present there to test the sound, which would be very difficult if you're buying online, for example, or things of that nature. So it's quite difficult, and I think there are a number of things that if you pay attention to, it will make purchasing your drum much easier and better. Nowadays, a lot of the tonebak instruments look like this. So you'll see that they have a big body here, very round, right, towards the bottom. So if you look at that, you'll see that it's, got this curvature here. And basically, this one tends to have a bigger body on the sides. So this one, I use this one for more traditional sounds because it's got more low end because of the curvature. So it's very important that you would understand that on acoustics, but basically the curvature will dampen the sound. So as you can see, a lot of the tonebacks that have curvature tend to be more on the low end and more deeper, bassier type of sounds. Tend to have that kind of a sound. The skin is also important, and the rougher the skin, I tend to like it more for the traditional sound. And as opposed to, for example, this drum, which you can see is a much older. This is from Qajar era, Qajar style drumming that I do on this one. So this one has a more high end, so you'll see it has something more along the lines of something like this. So see, it's got a ring to it. So it helps. This is more used for the dance styles. It's, because it's got that high ring, like a darabuka sound. It doesn't sound like a darabuka, but it's similar. And most importantly, because of the acoustical nature and acoustics, it has almost like a 90-degree angle. I prefer this drum the best, and to be honest, this is the way most tonebak instruments used to sound like and be made like. And since the Islamic Revolution, over the last 40 years, because of various reasons, tonebaks are not really made like that anymore. So it's very difficult to find an instrument that's like this. This is actually hand carved. So as you can see, here, for example, we have the way that it was chiseled and made by hand, whereas opposed to something like this will tend to be more machine made. It's not hand chiseled like that. It's very made by machines, basically, to carve the wood and whatnot. So in this instrument, for example, you'll see I use a very clear skin. So you can, they call this the glass skin. So it's still thick, but as you can see, it's got a more ringier type of sound. And there's other types of skin that you could use too, but we call this the glass skin, puste shishei, which basically means glass skin, and it's because you can see the other side of the skin like that. So that and again it's very clear, right? So that's kind of the type of skin that I use on that drum. In this one, for example, and this one is a very interesting drum because this is a a khatam drum as well, although this is a much older. So the interesting thing about this, and I'll bring that a little bit closer, is the finer detail of the khatam inlaid work that is done. So on this one, for example, it's very detailed and nicely done. On this one, which is a sort of khatam, you'll see that it's not as well done as the other one. The other one has much more detail in it in the type of work that was performed there. So that's just the nature of the handicraft work that they're doing there. Obviously, this one is a much better quality khatam than that one. It wasn't so important for me that the khatam would be the best. It was more the sound that I was looking for, so I picked that one for the traditional sound. This one for the more authentic asil style of music, which requires a totally different texture in the sound that I get out of the drums. In terms of curvature, you'll see that this has a curvature, but it's very interesting because this is not the way that it's actually done in the inside. So this has a ring too, but it's more not too much low end and not too much high end, right? So this is more balanced in the terms of sound that I can get out of it. So this is more like... And I tend to use a very rough skin on this one because the friction, so it's kind of let's see if we can get a good angle of this so you can see all the rough texture on this. I think this is a calf, if I'm not mistaken. It would be, you know, a cow skin as opposed to, for example, a goat skin, right? That which would be very different. So the rougher the skin in this instance, it tends to, and you'll see that they tend to have a darker skin and more like that. So this has a very good mid-range type of sound. So yeah, I mean, I think, but you know, this drum, even though it has curvature, it's actually not really that curved in the inside. So the acoustics still sound great. It's an older drum. This was probably around, I think, built a little bit after the revolution. So it doesn't have the big, you know, the curved drum, you know, that kind of a sound. It's a little bit more slim, if you notice. It does have somewhat of a curvature, but that's really not that much in the inside, carved inside of it. So even though it looks curved from the outside, inside it's much more acoustics are more, you know, angled basically. So it's not really curved in that much. So I like this drum a lot. This one, you know, I use it for more authentic asil classical style of music. Yeah, so we have 3 different textures. The very traditional sonati style of music, I would probably play that drum. Asil kind of music, I would play this drum. And if I were to play something Qajar style dance motifs or older sounding type of Persian music, then I would probably use that drum. Yeah, I think a lot of the new zarb makers are also in the process of basically changing their design. So you'll notice that a lot of newer ones might be more slim nowadays, might not be as curved. So there's a lot of that too. But I think, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different things that tend to affect the sound quality of your tonbak. And I think that generally speaking, you know, is very important in the type of tone that you're getting from your instrument. And I personally very prefer the old style of zarbs and that performance. So I like, you know, very ringy, high end, that kind of a sound that would be very powerful and not so much, muted or anything like that, which I think tend to has more Islamic influences as opposed to, something more rhythmic and danceable. So these were changes that, due to society and a lot of reasons like that, tended to affect the way that Persian music is performed these days. So, yep, I think that's about it. I wish you the best on picking your next instrument. Yep, best of luck. Thank you.